Okay, so we have an assignment here that we're going to incorporate a lot of different things that we've learned. I have this image uploaded into the assignment. If you struggle with downloading and uploading this image, it's okay. You can just work from this video. Okay. What we want is this drawing. You know, when we're all done, your drawing will look like this: first and last name, your period, top, front, and right side views. Okay. And we're going to use the video that we previously watched about views of solids to work off of as well. So we're going to use this model. You can use your physical snap cubes that you have at home with you, and or you can use the video views of solids, and of course this instructional video. This is what I would put in a split screen as you work through this assignment, and then you can pause and rewind as necessary. So how do we get to this? Well, some of you may have started and may be coming back. And so within the assignment, if you need to get back to your assignment, to your drawing, let's say that you only have a piece of this showing. So let's say that you only got, I don't know, like this far, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to go back to your assignment that you submitted, whatever you've accomplished so far, and you want to get that URL, and it should open the drawing that you've been working on, and you can continue working on it, okay? So wherever you left off. We're going to obviously start with a brand new vector drawing. So these are the other tools in the module that I'm going to use in the video. Okay, so first thing you want to do is open up a brand new vector drawing, unless you're picking up where you left off. And we're going to use the grid feature this time. So show the grid by clicking here and click on grid, the second option. And we want to make sure that we are not zoomed in or not zoomed out, but right at 100%, okay? Then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our information in here, our first and last name, and our period. Right now, that's very tiny. I want that to be black and 50. Okay, so I'm going to change this. You can either do the up and down button, or you can type in 50. And if your name is really long, you might have to make that a little smaller, but that will work for most of us. And I'm going to make this black. And then I'm going to put it way up in the upper left-hand corner. Okay. I want to keep the name up in the left-hand corner, and our image, if you're able to upload an image, in the upper right-hand corner. And then our front, top, and side views will be here. Okay. So we're going to use the whole page. Now, what I want to do is I want to first bring in my image, but before I can bring in my image, I have to download it. So go to the module and open up views of solids, okay, in the module, and click on here to download. This will download it to your computer, and it will go to my downloads folder. So I go back to my vector drawing after I download that, and now I'm going to upload it. And this is helpful if there's something that you want to add to this vector drawing, or if you want to work off of an image, okay? We can trace on top of this, or we can resize this. Now, if I resize this without holding the shift key, I might distort it like that. Remember, don't forget your Control Z for undo if you need to go back a step or two. If you need to go back a bunch of steps, okay? I just Control Z'd a bunch of times. I didn't want to go back that far, so I want to redo. So I'm going to Control Y to redo and get back to where I need to be. This is right where I want to be. Now I want to resize this, but I want to resize it so it stays proportional. So I hold, as I'm resizing it, I hold the shift key down, okay? And I want it to be in this upper right-hand corner. Okay, this is about half the page here. I don't want it being more than a quarter of the page. I want it to be big enough so that I can see it, but small enough so that it's out of the way from my top, front, and right side view drawings. Okay, so how now are we going to draw this front view? Well, we need a bunch of blocks. Okay, so let's make one block perfect to start with. Now we can draw this cube, okay, but we are not a machine. So unless you have really good hand-eye control and you can start and end right there on the corners, and I know I'm on the corners because the blue lines show me, we're going to make a 3x3 block. Instead of doing it that way, a 3x3 block is 60 pixels wide and 60 pixels high. So what we can do is use this machine. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to show you an easier way to do it. Grab the rectangle tool, click, okay? It defaults to an 80 by 80. We're going to change this by typing in 60 by 60. Okay. Now, if for some reason these numbers are different, you didn't just click, okay? And you can undo and redo. Now, we just want this to be a black outline. And I'm going to let this kind of float right here in the middle of my drawing, but I want to change this to no background, sorry, and a border, so black outline, which would be black border, and which is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and I want it to be nice and dark, so I'm going to make it 5 pixels thick. Okay, so this is the block that we're going to build all of these other blocks off of. Now, once you get here, you can pause, you can take a break, and now we're going to pick up with actually drawing these views. So I'm going to go back to the video that kind of started this all, and we're going to watch a little overview.
Today we're going to talk about the views of solids. When we think of views of solids, we're looking at three-dimensional figures. So we have our cubes here stacked. We have 8 cubes stacked on top of each other. Okay, we have 1, 2, and there's one back here that you can't see. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when we're dealing with views of solids, we're going to talk about 3 views. We're going to talk about our side view, top view, and front view. The side view would be the green. Okay, the top view would be the blue, and the red would be the front view. So what that means is if you're standing up here, you're only going to see the red. Alright, but if you're standing over in this area, you're going to see the green. And if you're up here somewhere, you're probably only going to see the blue. So how can we draw that out? When we're drawing this out, we're using 3 separate drawings to look at this. Okay, so now we're first going to start with our front view. So just imagine that we're standing in front, but we can only see the red. So first, we're going to put our 1 out here to represent this one. And if we're looking at it just at the red, we see that we would think that we would see 3 red stacked on top of each other. So that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we have our 3 red that's stacked on top of each other. Now, how many over should we go? Correct, we should go over 3 spots. 3 more, I should say. Okay. Right there, that would be our front view. If we look at it, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 over, 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and 1, 2, 3 up. So again, that is our front view.
So we just learned how to draw the front view, and we're going to go into vector.com and now draw this. So here's the front view. He said we've got 3 blocks high and 4 blocks wide, or he did 3 blocks and then 3 more over to the right. So we're going to use this block to draw all the rest of them. Now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, if we go back to this picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need that many blocks. So I'm going to click on this block in the center. And if for some reason you mess this block up, you turn it accidentally or something like that, you can either redraw it or just undo. Like sometimes I do that by accident. And then I can Control Z and undo. But let's say I can't get back to where I was. You can just redraw it. Just remember, this is 60 by 60 wide. Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this. Again, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. So I'm going to duplicate, which is Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. I think that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. So again, just to recap, click on the block and duplicate 6 times. So Control D 6 times. So Control D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can copy and paste, but that's a 2-step process. Control D does that in 1 step. That's why I like to do that. So I've got 6 blocks and I need to line them up like this. So I'm going to stack them in the lower left-hand corners where our front drawing always goes. So 1, 2, 3 here, and then 3 more off to the right. So 1, 2, 3 off to the right. So I've got these 4, and that's really kind of messy. What I want to do is I want to start this block off in just the right spot. So if you put it in the lower left-hand corner right here, what I want it to be that far in. So basically right here, okay, is where I want my corner block to be. So you can use another block to move in and kind of mark that for you. So this is my starting block right here. That's in the perfect position now. And I'm going to bring these other ones over. Now you can do it with your mouse or your mouse pad, keypad, but that can be really tricky for some people. Another way to do it really easily is just use your arrow keys. See how you can move them over little tiny spaces and then get it right where you want it. If you need to zoom in, you can zoom in. The problem with zooming in, sometimes, you're like, where did my drawing go? But you can use these bars over here to move over to find it. Okay. So there it is. So you can zoom in and work like this. I'm going to probably zoom out, be zoomed out just because the zooming in and zooming out can get disoriented. So you can use the arrows again, or you can drag it and drop it into place with your mouse, or you can do a combination. Get it close and then use the arrows up and down to get it where you want it. Okay. So I'm going to zoom back out to 100%. Excuse me. And I want to reposition my paper so that it's centered. So I'm going to move this up and I'm going to move this over. Okay. So there is our first drawing. Now we're going to label this later at the bottom when we're done with all 3 of them. So the front view, top view, and right side view. So let's watch the video for the next view.
Now let's look at our side view. Remember, our side view is in green. So let's look at the green. Let's imagine that we're standing off to the side and we want to see the green. So we're standing over here. So what we're going to see is we're going to see 3 stacked up. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3 stacked on top of each other. Now, if we're standing in this area and facing this, we'd see these 2, they would be off to the left because they're over here and we're standing off to here. So this would be our left side. So we're going to put 2 more to the left. And that is how the side view would look.
Now, so it kind of looks like a backwards L. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes here. So it looks like a backward L, and we need 5 cubes. And I have to say that I think this picture that I brought in here, and some of you may have done that also if you had trouble. You don't need to have this. You won't lose points if you don't have it. But one of the things I want to point out is this right side view is much easier to see when you turn your block sideways and look straight on it. Okay, that's pretty much the image that we're going to have here. So that's the side view of this 3-dimensional object looking from this direction. Okay, and that's the front view looking in this direction. Okay, so we're doing the right side this way now. So that's the right side view. I turn this so I can look straight on. And we're going to draw that here, a backwards L, and there's 5 cubes to do that. So I'm going to go back to my original cube, and I'm going to duplicate it 5 times, Control D 5 times. So Control D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to make an L. Now, what I want to do is, again, just like before, I had this in 1 block wide, okay? But that might be too far away from this drawing here. So instead of going in from the corner, I'm actually going to go 1 block away from this other drawing. Now, that kind of looks confusing, like I'm making this huge drawing. I'm going to take this block out now. Okay, so I'm just using this as a measuring tool. I'm going to keep this 1 block away from here. And when I draw the top view, I'm going to keep that 1 block away from there as well. Okay, so I've got, that's this cube right here. So that's 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if we look back at his, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to make this nice and perfect. As perfect as I can. If it doesn't line up perfectly, it's okay as long as you have the right amount of blocks in the general area. That's what I'm really looking for here, okay? I'm using my arrow keys just to do these tiny movements. Okay, so now I've got my front view, I've got my right side view. So front view and right side view. Now we're going to draw the top view.
We have one more view, and that would be the top view using the blue. With the top view, we're standing up here. Think of it as we're going over a helicopter and we're looking down upon what we would see. We can't see the red or the green, we only see the blue. So to do the top view, we see that first 1, 2, 3, 4 blue over. So I'm going to do that right away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you should see that we have 2 more blue that are visible. This blue right here, that's underneath this cube, you can't see. So we're going to put 2 more below for our top view. And that is our top view. So now you can see that we have 3 separate views. We have the front view in red, the green is the side view, and then the blue, our final, is the top view here.
Okay, so the top view, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks that we need to make this top view. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Let's go back to our vector drawing. And you don't have to click back and forth. You can just watch this video. I'm doing it for you. So I'm going to make as many blocks as we need to draw this. This is the top view made from our snap cubes. And we need 6 of them. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to duplicate this 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was Control D 6 times. Control D, Control D, Control D, so on and so forth. 6 times. So I'm going to, again, I'm going to go about 1 block away from here. I'm not going to leave that block there. I'm just measuring. Okay, so I'm going to take that block away now. So see how this drawing is 1 block away from here and this drawing is 1 block away from here? And then I'm going to stack that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm not going to get rid of this extra block until I know that I'm done with my drawing. So I'm going to now make this perfect. I'm working off of that bottom block there and lining everything else up with it. And again, if your grid looks a little different than mine, you might not be at 100%. You might be zoomed in or out, okay? So again, you can use the arrows or you can use your mouse. Okay, up to you. So once you have your top, front, and right side view done, I want you to label it. Now, I don't want to redo all the work that I did for this text. So I'm going to copy and paste or duplicate this text, and I'm going to double click to change it. So I'm going to do caps lock and I'm going to write top. I'm not even going to write top view. I'm just going to write the word top, okay, above this. And then below this, I'm going to write front, double click in there, front, and then I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to bring it over here for the side view. Double click or triple click, side, and now I actually want to say right side because I think that that's important. But typically you'll just see them say side view. Okay. So top, front, and side view. There it is. Now, before you export this and copy and paste the URL, you can put this off to the side. You can, mix it in here, or you can delete it. Now, what I recommend is you keep it, but if you see how I zoomed out there, you can either zoom out or you can use these keys to go up and down. If you take it and put it off of your page, it's not going to show when you export this image, but it'll still be there when you come back if you have to make some corrections or continue on. By the way, if you leave and you come back, your grid is going to be off, okay? That doesn't mean it's gone. You can just turn it back on, okay, by doing that. All right. All right. So how do we put this final drawing into the assignment? How do we submit this? You right click and you copy or triple click, select this, however you do it. And you are going to copy this URL here. Okay. So select and copy, and then you're going to export just like we used to do. We're going to download. Okay, I'm not going to copy this URL because I have actually found, if I close this and I go back in here, this URL, I'm going to copy that. This one here brings us back into our drawing and allows us to keep editing if we put that in the assignment. So find your assignment, okay, and if you've already submitted something, go to resubmit. If you haven't submitted anything, you're going to have a blank text entry here. And so you're going to paste your URL that you just copied, and I'm going to hit return a couple times, and I'm going to insert my image that I downloaded. Upload image, click on the rocket ship, find your image in the downloads folder. It should be the last thing you downloaded. There it is. Submit. Submit. Now, to double check to make sure you submitted, click on submission details. Did I actually submit? Yes, there it is. Okay. Now, again, if you need to go back to make edits, I'm going to close that just so you can see. You can click on that link. You can just do partial, if you need to leave and come back and do other parts of this drawing, you can paste this URL and come back in and make changes to it. Okay. That's the beauty of this. And your things don't get all funky when you do that. And you can turn your grid back on too to do that. Okay. So that was already submitted. I'm not going to say resubmit because this is the final one. And I don't need to make any changes to it. So I am just going to leave this after I'm sure that it's in here. Okay, so you can just X out when you're done. That's it. Good job.